Hi guys, thanks for joining me. Today I'm going to show you how to prime and start a Fluval canister filter. This will actually work on pretty much any canister filter that uses the manual pump style priming system, but for this example it's a Fluval 206. It will basically work with any of the 06, 05 or even earlier models of Fluval, possibly on Eheims also. So, a lot of people are actually having problems with these, getting them started and getting them running fine after doing maintenance to them or from brand new. My first tip is, before you are putting it back together, get a bucket of dechlorinated water, either from your tap or you can just use your aquarium water, and pre-fill your filter. So, you don't really need a lot in there. I typically aim for maybe halfway to 2/3. That looks like it needs a little bit more. So obviously, please make sure you use dechlorinated water, because if you don't, that will kill your filter bacteria. Once you've done that, you can put the lid back on. When you're reassembling your filter, a common mistake that can lead to the filter leaking or not priming because there isn't a good enough seal is to not properly clip these pieces back on properly. A lot of people just do that and it doesn't work so well. Make sure that you properly click it in. You will definitely feel the difference. Sometimes they might not feel like it's done a lot, but you will hear a click. That actually tightens up once the filter is running. So don't worry if it's a little bit loose. As long as it's completely in, it will tighten up once it's running. So you should have by now something that looks a little bit like this. You've got your filter in place and you have got your Fluval Aquastop valves there. If it's just a bit of filter maintenance that you've done, these should already be full of water that were in the tubes before you turned it off. If it's brand new, then they will be full of air. That can make priming a little bit trickier, but it's not too difficult to do, and I'll show you how that works. Basically, try and minimise the length of hose going to your filter. Probably that's the max you're going to want to have it. I haven't had any problems with having loops in my hoses there. I haven't had any air getting trapped, but that also can be a factor with difficulty priming, so make sure your hoses are as straight as they can get and as short as they can be. The next step is to put your attachment back on. So you put that down, that locks it in place, the red one, and then the white one actually unblocks the hoses so that it's now connected to the filter and there's no blockage and water can travel through the hoses. Okay, the next step is to actually turn the filter on. In a new filter, okay, you're going to be sucking air and it's going to be a dry filter for a little bit, except for the bit of water you've put in there, but turning the filter on helps to prime it. If you try and do this without the filter turned on, it makes it so much more difficult. So please just turn it on, just plug it in, and you'll get that horrible noise. Sounds like a bunch of marbles in there rattling around. It's perfectly normal. That's just your impeller turning around in basic air. Then what you want to do is move this up and down, and eventually you'll get some air coming out. That's basically what you want to look for, and you just keep doing it, and it'll make all kinds of horrible noises. It'll get a bit stiff. That means it's filling with water. That's great. That's the noise of it. It's starting to fill up. You can hear the air dispersing. In a new filter, it'll actually make those air noises for a good couple of days, maybe up to a week. I had issues with that when I first got this filter going. That goes. In one that's been running for a while, it'll probably take a day to clear. But see how easy that was. No issues. It's running great. It's sucking water up, and you know, it's going to make noises. If you do get air trapped in there, sometimes it's a good thing to burp your filter, which is basically just to do that. And you can hear the noise that that's made. So that's just dislodging any trapped air within the filter. Give it a little shake, and that should do it. So keep repeating that process of the shaking and the burping for about 10 minutes. And that's basically all you need to do to prime one of these filters. It's not a difficult operation at all. Another thing to note, if you've just done some filter maintenance, is this is what your aquarium is going to be looking like after you've done that. It's going to look really murky. When you do a bit of filter maintenance like that, you're basically disturbing a lot of trapped dirt, and even though you've cleaned your filter pads, some of it is still going to be left within your filter media. And once you turn your filter back on, that is going to come straight out of there. This, though, will clear up within a few hours. Nothing to worry about. Generally, I find it just goes straight back up the other end of the filter and it's gone. So no worries. Anyway, thank you for watching. Thanks so much, and I hope this has been useful for you. And happy fish keeping!